for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast, the 6'4s hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
With the business.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the world's steel capital in the city of Bridges, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Acrisure Stadium. Today we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And this is thrown to the sideline. No receiver in the area, though, and that's going to bring out a flag. We saw it, too. Nobody in the vicinity of that throw, and that earns him the penalty.
Yeah, you've got to at least get it close enough to one of your own guys in order to dodge the penalty.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
Here we go. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. A first carry for the former Oklahoma Sooner, Joe Mixon. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. 11. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
He's got Hurst, his tight end. And the Bengals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right into the game plan, attacked them early.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Tyler Boyd, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals will jump on top for the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much. Down officially at the 21. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Over the middle, that's caught by Claypool. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. The Steelers at 2-4 here in the first half of the year. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well. And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins. And they're hoping to do it consistently here. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game, watching them try to take away that area of the field.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Had to pass there. 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he was very fortunate there to get out of his end zone. He maybe got back to the 2-yard line. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Once again, they run with Mixon. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Running the ball can be a struggle in this part of the field. In fact, it's a perfect spot for defenders to pin their ears back and try and work upfield, and they capture him for a loss.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Mixon. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety.
The goal here is about getting any kind of positive yardage in this spot, because you don't care who, you don't care how. You just want to try and buy a little space and get away from your own end zone. But in this spot, the defense was all over that play and equally motivated to stick them with a safety.
And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up past the 40-yard line.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They'll start the drive with Harris, and he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Oh, I saw this one with defensive eyes because even as he escaped the pocket and bought time, the coverage stayed tight. Nothing broke down. Throwing it away, that was his only option.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Cut back team! Cut back team!
They're going to look to throw. Here's Johnson with a reception. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down.
When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage.
Now a first down carry for Harris, and he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
With his size, it often takes more than one guy to get him down, but if you can at least slow him up and the reinforcements arrive, you have a chance to get him on the ground, and that they did that time for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
18, pioneer.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Daxton Hill picks it off. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD.
They were in a very good position to come up with a go-ahead score there. A really good drive. Instead, it turns into 6 points going the other way. Psychologically, I don't know what that's going to do to them.
So as a coach, you're looking at that as at least a 10-point swing, right? Because they had the field goal in their back pocket.
They certainly did, and you're right. At least a 10-point swing, maybe more.
Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They'll go to work with a little momentum following the free kick, 1st and 10. Three yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the 2nd quarter.
And it'll come out to the 25. Austin not going to try and return it. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And so far, in terms of putting points on the scoreboard, it's been defense 2, offense nothing. But they'll have a chance to put together a first scoring drive this go-around. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Chidobe with a pick. And the Bengals are going to get the football here at their own 23. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
On second down, here's Mixon, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. On third down, Burrow. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Now Austin. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
On the move past the 40. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. So offside's the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out. But all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Flushed out right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half, because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. He'll drop to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Chidobe with a pick. And the Bengals are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, it's Mixon. And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Tyler Boyd, he's going to go. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Past midfield, look out. And he will take this one all the way back inside the 35-yard line.
I know the special teams coach will not permit himself a smile here, but inside he's glowing. This is what he practices for. This is what he schemes. This is what he watches tape to put himself and his team in a position to score points. An absolute dream return.
Harris running straight ahead. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. Again, it's Harris on 2nd down. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Hey, smash Broncos!
On 3rd down, here's Harris. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I guarantee you, it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
He's got Claypool for a Steeler touchdown. Chase Claypool, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers get a bit closer. Boswell good with the extra point, and that'll make this a 19-point ball game. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This taken in at the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They, of course, coming into this one in the midst of a tough losing streak. They did get helped out by the open week last week, and in talking with him, all indications were... And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Boswell for the extra point. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. Again, it's Mixon. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37.
2 straight 4-yard runs, and it is steadily working the ball downfield. To me, they're staying right on schedule. First down, you want 4 yards or more to set up the rest of the drive. They're getting exactly that.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Akella Witherspoon. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one. And they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
Logan Wilson that time there to bring him down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Harris going to get it again on second down. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about tiny? You're talking about a little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. The Bengals drive about to get going. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
That'll give them 8 that time, and it'll be second in a couple. Now it's Burrow. He's got a man complete. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon. 57 yards as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and that will make this a 19-point game. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Oh, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. And a quick shuffle pass here is complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 33. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. And an update now from down in Baltimore. And the Ravens have opened things up there. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with great starting field position and one timeout in their pocket, they can still come away with points here in the late going. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Burrow looking to pass. Flush to his right. Finding Mixon here again on back-to-back plays. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
And that's a tough one for the defense because the coverage was good downfield. He was forced to work his way out of the pocket to his right, spotted his man on the sideline, and got it to him to pick up the 1st down on 3rd down.
He will find his man Chase complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
Here we go.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into him because they were there to help break that pass up.
So on 3rd down, a field goal unit will come out as he'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So everything else has gone right in this first half. Kind of follows that it would for their kicker, too, as he adds 3 more onto the lead.
Yeah, and the way that this one's gone, definitely not looking like he's going to have to worry too much about pressure kicks late in the game. He can go out there free and easy, just work on his form, and he knocked that one through.
They'll throw now on the final play. Passing route catch made by Johnson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They'll look to throw here. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. $40 yards on the punt, 2 on the return, and the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Stop.
And they come with a jet sweep here as Burrow just taps that forward. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
11.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Well, partner, they've used him quite well out of the backfield in this one. And here's another nice example. They set up the screen, and he's able to pick his way downfield for a nice gain there.
They try to run on 1st down, but this defense says no dice. They stop him a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage. Burrow on play action. To the right side and complete to Hurst. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
1st down. Here's Burrow. That's the tight end Hurst with it. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Mix it up the middle. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, Maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
3rd and 2, now Burrow. This will be caught at about the 6. Touchdown! Tyler Boyd with his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and that'll push the lead up to 29 now. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And now here is another interception. Picked by Logan Wilson. And you have to wonder, Charles, in a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
But based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. Oh, and that one well designed, as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 51 yards rushing for him now, as he's carried it 16 times.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Here we go.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A handoff, running left, Mixon, and he's got it down to the 28.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
To Mixon on the check down. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, the only silver lining on the other sideline, CD, is that they kept him out of the end zone, but still, that's another 3 points added on to this large lead.
Yeah, no shortage of scoring or big plays on defense in this one. And even up by 4 possessions, still finding ways to create opportunities and capitalize with points.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnover. And my goodness, another interception. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter, it would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. He's got Hurst, his tight end. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3.
Here we go.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Bengals will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Back now in Pittsburgh. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you.
There he goes, right side. Past the 20. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. George Pickens, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point put through by Boswell as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And only able to get this to the 19. So for the touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. Not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They can definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it, and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to give them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
He'll take this to the 46. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a third and about 4 more for a first. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And the Steelers are going to take over here up near the 40. When the rookie QB gets his first touchdown pass, that's one you put in the trophy case. First career interception, that's going to be one he wants to forget.
Yeah, and he's not going to go ask for the football, right? You can keep that one. The key for him, what does he learn from it? When he watches the tape, does he have an answer right now where he already understands what mistake he made? That's what the coaches are going to want to know, and that's what they'll grill him on and see how he grows from it. I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Looking to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Bengals are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He finds his target, Allen. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He's got Allen. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. McPherson's kick is good. Well, Charles, the NFL record is 66 yards. That was 5 shy of that, but only a handful of guys have ever connected from 61 or deeper, and he can add his name to the list.
Yeah, more and more guys are trying it. That doesn't mean the success rate has gone up. That is a long kick. Guaranteed, when he turns on his foot.
Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch.
And now here is another interception. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 33. The Bengals drive about to get going. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth-quarter lead. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Back to throw here. Trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. The 20. I love
love plays like that. A defensive lineman holding football. It's like a kid who stole a cookie from the cookie jar, and then he's just fleeing the scene of the crime.
And all he's doing in his mind, reliving his days when he was young, probably played fullback on his high school team, always wanted to be the tailback carrying the ball, trying his best to lug that bad boy the distance.
Pretty impressive pick there off the screen and then a nice return.
You know, nowadays, they do more ball drills with the big guys than ever before because they want to take possessions away from the offense.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Going to run the toss here to Harris. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
Inside the red zone, and that means don't come away from there with anything less than 3 points, but everyone's thinking about 6. They're trying to get to the end zone. They decide to run a toss. Big people up front being mobile and moving, and a running back trying to follow behind them to find yardage, and that's exactly what he did.
And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Harris. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. They'll try and run with Harris. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. One final shot. They'll look to throw, and that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be, and time has run out now on this game. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Bengals, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Seahawks in Seattle.